Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be able to join you here today. I want to again convey my thanks to the government of Colombia, to the mayor and the governor for their hospitality, for bringing us here to this great city at this historic moment. We meet at a critical time for this hemisphere, for the global economy, and for this bank. We now face extraordinary challenges. This is a global crisis, and it requires a global response. We are moving quickly in the United States to address these challenges, and we are committed to working closely with countries around the world and with the international financial institutions. We recognize that recovery around the world depends on recovery in the United States. And we understand how closely our fortunes in the United States are tied to those of the global economy. This is a time for the world to come together. In just 2 months, President Obama has worked with the Congress to pass the largest program of support for growth in the post-war period in the United States. We are moving quickly to implement that program. And we are moving quickly to stabilize and repair our financial system and restore the credit that businesses and consumers depend on. In the United States, as in all our economies, economic recovery requires financial repair. These actions will help lay the foundation for growth, and alongside these efforts, we need to act to make sure that the world never again faces a crisis of this severity. Last week in Washington, I presented the major elements of a set of very comprehensive financial reform proposals. These reforms are designed to reduce systemic risk in the financial system, to create a more stable financial system that is better able to withstand recessions, and that will dampen rather than amplify future economic cycles. This will require stronger standards for capital and liquidity for all institutions that could pose systemic risk. It will require bringing derivatives markets, payment systems, hedge funds within a framework of oversight. And it will require stronger tools for the resolution and management of future financial crises. Later this week, President Obama will join the heads of state of the Group of 20 to form a global consensus on actions for sustained economic growth, financial stability, and significant reform to the international financial system. And next month, President Obama will travel to the Summit of the Americas, where the importance of global cooperation in addressing these economic challenges will be a central theme. I want to outline today the 4 critical elements of an effective, coordinated global response to this crisis. First, we need to make sure that we each commit to substantial and sustained macroeconomic policy support for demand using all available tools. Substantial policy actions are already in the pipeline. These need to be sustained on a scale that is proportionate to the challenges we face in each of our economies. And these actions need to be complemented by continuing efforts to strengthen our financial institutions so that our banks and our credit markets are able to support a resumption of growth. Second, we need to reaffirm our commitment to maintain open policies towards international trade and investment, and to avoid protectionist measures that could threaten recovery. This will be a challenge for all of us, given the severity of the pressures we each face domestically, but this is absolutely critical. Third, we need to make sure that the international institutions are able to deploy substantial resources quickly to help emerging and developing countries adjust to the sharp fall in global growth and the dramatic reversal in private capital flows. We are seeing this around the world, even in this region, and even in countries with strong external positions and very strong records of prudent financial management. In this context, we are prepared to support a very substantial increase in the short-term resources available to the IMF and the multilateral development banks, and to support the targeted use of those resources in new and innovative ways. The IMF will play a central role in this process, and we have proposed a substantial enlargement of the new arrangement to borrow, the IMF's crisis response facility, by up to $500 billion, along with a substantial expansion in its membership. And we are open to other steps to expand liquidity by the IMF in this moment of exceptional global need. Fourth, we need to build consensus on a strong set of reforms to the international financial architecture. Our markets are global, and risk does not respect national boundaries. So we are committed to working with countries around the world to raise financial standards and to encourage a race to the highest standards of supervision and oversight rather than a race to the bottom. And in this context, we need to strengthen and reform the governance of the international financial institutions. We should commit together to a clear roadmap to agreement on changes that would increase the voting shares and financial roles of the dynamic emerging market economies in these institutions.